Me and the lads had a meeting in the bar, and we decided it's first class family entertainment. But if it goes on beyond 10:30, it's self-indulgent. Pass it on. I'm on my own tonight. Don't mind if I join you.
Oh. Hello, Birdboot.
Where's Higgs?
I'm standing in.
Where's Higgs?
Higgs. Every time.
What?
It is as if we only existed one at a time. Two critics combining to achieve continuity. I keep space warm for Higgs. His presence defines my absence. His absence precludes my presence. You know, when Higgs and I walk down this common aisle together, the oceans will fall from the sky and the trees will hang with the fishes.
Where's Higgs?
The very sight of me with a complimentary ticket is enough. The streets are impassable tonight. The country is rising and the cry goes up from hill to hill. Where's Higgs?
Yes. Well, I didn't bring Myrtle tonight. Not exactly her cup of tea, I thought, tonight.
Over her head, you mean?
Well, no. I mean, it's a sort of thriller, isn't it?
Is it?
That's what I've heard. A who killed thing. No one leaves the house.
Yeah, I suppose so. Underneath.
Underneath, it's a whodunit moon. Look at it. Has it started yet?
Yes.
Are you sure?
It's a pause.
You can't start with a pause. If you want my opinion, there's total panic back there. Where is Higgs tonight, then?
It will follow me to my grave and become my epitaph. Here lies Moon, the second string. You know, sometimes I dream of a revolution. A bloody coup d'etat by the second rank. Troops of actors slaughtered by their understudies. Wiped out by indefatigably smiling glamour girls, whilst second sons wiped down by just burning cans of men, and whilst the second son is already mounted throne, having committed regicide with a croquet mallet. Stand-ins in the world of stand-up. Sometimes I dream of Higgs.
Have a chocolate.
What kind?
Black magic.
Ugh, no thanks.
I'll give you a tip then. Watch the girl.
You think she did it?
No, the girl. Watch her.
What girl?
You don't know her. I'll give you a nudge.
You know her, don't you?
What's that supposed to mean?
I beg your pardon?
I'm trying to tip you a wink. Give you a nudge as good as a tip. For God's sake, Moon, what's the matter with you? You could do yourself some good, spotting her first time out. She's new, from the provinces, going straight to the top. I don't want to put words into your mouth, but a word from us, and we could make her.
I suppose you've made dozens of them.
I'll have you know I'm a family man, devoted to my homely but good-natured wife. And if you're suggesting...
No.
Man of scrupulous morality,
I'm sorry.
Obviously besmirched.
Well, is that her?
Don't be absurd. I wouldn't be seen dead with that old...
Mrs. Drudge, the help.
We interrupt our programme for a special police message. The search still goes on for the escaped madman who is on the run in Essex.
Essex?
County police, led by Inspector Hound, have received a report that the man has been seen in the desolate marshes around Muldoon Manor. The man is wearing a darkish suit with a lighter shirt. He is of medium height and build and young-ish. Anyone seeing a man answering to this description and acting suspiciously is advised to phone the nearest police station. That is the end of the police message.
So that's what they say about me, is it?
What?
Oh, I know what goes on behind my back. Sniggers, slanders, hole in the corner innuendo. What have you heard?
Nothing.
Tittle tattle. Tittle, my dear fellow tattle. I take no notice of it. The sly envy of scandalmongers. I can afford to ignore them. I'm a respectable married man.
Incidentally,
Water off a duck's back, I can assure you.
who was that lady I saw you with last night?
How dare you? How dare you? Don't come here with your slimy insinuations. My wife Myrtle understands perfectly well that a man of my critical standing is obliged occasionally to mingle with the world of the footlights, simply by way of keeping au fait with the latest.
I'm sorry.
That a critic of my scrupulous integrity should be vilified and pilloried in the stocks of common gossip. I have nothing to hide. Why? If this should reach the ears of my beloved Myrtle.
Can I have a chocolate?
What? Oh, yes. Yes, my dear fellow. Let's have a chocolate. No point in... Yes, good show. Which one do you fancy? Cherry, strawberry, coffee, cream, Turkish delight.
I'll have a Montlimar.
Ah, sorry.
Pistachio fudge, nectarine cluster, hickory nut praline, Chateau Neuf du Pape 55 cracknel.
I'm afraid not. Caramel?
Yeah, all right.
Thanks very much. Incidentally, old chap, I'd be grateful if you didn't mention, I mean, you know how these misunderstandings get about.
What?
The fact is, Myrtle simply doesn't like the theatre.
By the way, congratulations, Birdboot.
What?
Outside the Theatre Royal, your entire review reproduced in neon.
Ah, that old thing.
You've seen it, of course.
Well, I was passing.
Well, I definitely intend to take a second look when, things have calmed down.
Well, a matter of fact, I do have a few coloured transparencies. I don't know whether you care to...
Please, love to. Yes, awfully sound. It is in the best sense of the word, electric. I would go so far as to say, kinetic without being pop. And having said that, I think here we have a review that adds a new dimension to the critical scene. I urge you to make haste to the Theatre Royal for this. It's the stuff of life itself.
Most handsome of you, Moon.
Yeah, all I ever got was unforgettable on the poster for...
Oh, yes, I remember. Was that you? I thought it was Higgs.
Hello, the drawing room of Lady Muldoon's country residence one morning in early spring. Hello? Who? Who did you wish to speak to? I am afraid there is no one here of that name. This is all very mysterious, and I'm sure it's leading up to something. I hope nothing is amiss, for we, that is Lady Muldoon and her guests, are here cut off from all the world, including Major Magnus, the wheelchair-ridden half-brother of Lord Albert Muldoon, who walked out of this house 10 years ago and was never seen again.
Derivative, of course.
Quite sound.
Should a stranger enter our midst, which I very much doubt, I shall tell them you called. Goodbye.
Ah, hello there. Hope you don't mind. The door was open, so I just wandered in. I'm Simon Gascoigne, a friend of Lady Muldoon, the lady of the house, having made her acquaintance through a mutual friend, Felicity Cunningham, shortly after moving to the area just the other day.
I'm Mrs. Drudge. I don't live in, but I pop in sometimes on my bicycle, weather allowing, to help in the running of charming, though somewhat isolated Muldoon Manor. Judging by the time, you did well to get here before the high tide cut us off for all practical purposes from the outside world.
Yes, I took a shortcut over the cliffs and followed one of the old smuggling paths through the treacherous swamps that surround this strangely inaccessible house.
Yes, many a visitor has commented upon the topographical quirk of the local strata, whereby there are no roads leading from the manor, but there are always ways of getting to it, weather allowing.
Well, I must say it's a lovely day so far.
Ah, but now that the cuckoo beard is in bud, there'll be fog before the sun hits Foster's Ridge.
I say, it is wonderful the way you country people really know weather.
No weather what?
No, weather. I say, now that you mention it, it is coming on a bit foggy.
Oh, the fog is very treacherous around here. It rolls off the sea without warning, shrouding the cliffs with a deadly mantle of blind man's buff.
Yes, I've heard it said.
I have known whole weekends when Muldoon Manor, as this Queen Anne house is known, could have been floating on the pack ice for all the good it would have done phoning the police. It was on such a weekend as this that Lord Albert Muldoon, having lately brought his beautiful bride back to the home of his ancestors, walked out of this house 10 years ago, and his body was never found.
Yes, indeed. Poor Cynthia.
His name was Albert?
Yes, indeed. Poor Albert. Is Lady Muldoon about?
I believe she is playing tennis on the lawn with Felicity Cunningham.
Felicity Cunningham?
A mutual friend, a happy chance. I shall tell them you are here.
Well, I've just remembered. Can't really stay. No need to bother them. I should probably be going.
Oh, they will be disappointed, for it is some time since we have had a fall for Pontoon Bridge, and I don't play cards myself.
There is another guest, then?
Major Magnus, the half-brother of Lord Muldoon, who turned up out of the blue from Canada just the other day, makes up the house party.
I think I must be waiting for Higgs to die.
What?
Half afraid that I will vanish when he does.
Hello?
I wonder if it's the same for Puckeridge.
Who?
Third string.
You're standing?
Does he wait for Higgs and I to write each other's obituaries? Does he dream?
To whom do you wish to speak?
What's he like?
Bitter.
There's no one of that name here.
No, as a critic, what's Puckeridge like as a critic?
Nobody knows.
You must have got the wrong number.
There's always been me and Higgs.
Simon Gascoigne. It's not him, of course.
What?
I said it's not him.
Who is it then?
My guess is Magnus.
What, in disguise, you mean?
What?
You think he's Magnus in disguise?
I don't think you're concentrating, Moon.
I thought you said...
You keep on chattering about Higgs and Puckeridge. What's the matter with you?
I wonder if they talk about me.
Here is another police message. Essex County Police are still searching in vain for the madman who is at large in the deadly marshes of the coastal region. Inspector Hound, who is masterminding the operation, is not available for comment, but it is widely believed that he has a secret plan. Meanwhile, police and volunteers are combing the swamps with loud hailers shouting, "Don't be a madman! Give yourself up!" That is the end of the police message.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I should think my name is seldom off Puckeridge's lips. Sad, really. I mean, it's no life at all. Stand in.
Revenge, of course.
What?
Jealousy.
Nonsense. Nothing personal in it.
The paranoid grudge.
No, it is merely that it's not enough to wax in another's wane, to be held on reserve, on hand, on call, to step in or not at all. The substitute, the near offer, the temporary acting. For I am Moon. Moon in my own shoes, Moon in June, April, September. No member of the human race keeps warm my bit of space. Yes. I can tell by the way he nods.
Quite mad, of course.
What?
The answer lies out there in the swamps.
Oh.
The skeleton in the cupboard is coming home to roost.
Oh, yes. Already in the opening stages, we note the classical impact of the catalytic figure, the outsider, plunging through the centre of an ordered world and setting up the disruptions, the shock waves, which, unless I am much mistaken, will strip these comfortable people, these crustaceans in the rock pool of society. Yes. Will strip them of their shells and leave them exposed as the trembling raw meat, which, at heart, is all of us. But there is more to it than that.
I agree. Keep your eye on Magnus.
Out!
I say, Birdboot.
That's the one.
You!
Yes, hello again.
What are you doing here?
Well, no doubt you're surprised to see me.
Honestly, darling, you really are extraordinary.
Yes, well, here I am.
Oh, you must have been desperate to see me. I mean, I'm flattered, but couldn't it wait till I got back?
There's something you don't know.
What is it?
About those things I said last night, it may be that I got carried away a little. Oh, we both did.
What are you trying to say?
I love another.
I see.
Now, I never promised anything. I merely...
You don't have to say any more.
Oh, I didn't want to hurt you.
Of all the
No, I never promised anything. I merely... Let me explain.
This is hardly the time and place. You think you could barge in here no matter what I happen to be doing?
But I want you to know that my feelings for you are sincere. I don't want you to think I didn't mean those things I said.
I'll kill you for this, Simon Gascoigne.
Yes, what do you want?
I've come to set up the card table, sir.
I don't think I can stay.
Oh, Lady Muldoon will be disappointed.
Does she know I'm here?
Oh, yes, I just told her and it put her in quite a tizzy.
Really? Well, I suppose now that I've cleared the air, quite a tizzy, you say? Really? Really?
Felicity. She's the one.
Nonsense. Red herring.
No, I mean it was her.
What was?
The lady I saw you with last night.
Are you suggesting that a man of my scrupulous integrity would trade his pen for a mess of pottage simply because in the course of my profession, I happen to have struck up an acquaintance, to have, that is, a warm regard, if you like, for a fellow toiler in the vineyard of grease paint. I find it simply intolerable to be pillified and villeroyed.
I never implied.
To find myself the object of uninformed malice, the petty slanders of little men.
I'm sorry.
To suggest that my good opinion is a journal of unimpeachable integrity at the disposal of the first coquette who gives me what I want. A ladies' man. Why, Myrtle and I have been together for... Christ! Who is that?
Lady Muldoon.
No, I mean, who is she?
Cynthia.
Don't say anything for a moment. Just hold me.
She is beautiful, a vision of eternal grace, a poem.
I think she's got her mouth open.
We can't go on meeting like this.
You have nothing to be ashamed of.
But darling, this is madness.
Yes, I am mad, with love for you.
Please remember where we are.
Cynthia, I love you.
Don't. I love Albert.
He's dead. Don't you understand me? Albert's dead.
No, I'll never give up hope. Let me go. We are not free.
I don't care. We were meant for each other. Had we but met in time.
You're a cad, Simon. You will use me and cast me aside as you have cast aside so many others.
No, Cynthia. You can make me a better person.
You're ruthless. So strong. So cruel.
The son she never had, now projected in this handsome stranger and transformed into lover, youth, vigour, the animal, the athlete as aesthete.
By Jove, I think you're right. Her mouth is open.
Stop! Can't you see? You're making a fool of yourself.
I'll kill anyone who comes between us.
Yes, what is it, Mrs. Strudge?
Should I close the windows, my lady? The fog is beginning to roll off the sea like a dreadful mantle of blime.
Yes, you'd better. It looks like we're in for one of those days. Are the cards ready?
Yes, my lady.
Would you tell Miss Cunningham we are waiting?
Yes, my lady.
And fetch the Major down.
I think I hear him coming down now.
Simon!
I never had a chance. He ran under my wheels.
Oh, darling, say something!
I have witnesses.
I say, I'm frightfully sorry.
How long have you been a pedestrian?
Ever since I could walk.
Can you walk now?
Oh.
Thank God. Magnus, this is Simon Gascoigne.
What's he doing here?
He just turned up.
Really? How do you like it here?
Oh, I could stay forever.
So, you're still here.
Of course he's still here. We're going to play cards. There's no need to introduce you two, is there? For I recall that you, Felicity, met me through Simon, our mutual friend.
Yes, Simon is an old friend. Just not as old as you, Cynthia dear.
Yes, I haven't seen Felicity since...
Last night.
Indeed. Well, you deal, Felicity. Will you partner Felicity, Magnus, against Simon and me?
Will Simon and you always be partnered against me, Cynthia?
What do you mean, Magnus?
You're a damned attractive woman, Cynthia.
Please remember Albert.
Albert is dead, and you are still young, Cynthia. I'm sure he would have wished that you and I...
No, Magnus, this is not to be.
It's that Gascoigne, isn't it? I'll kill him if he comes between us.
Simon!
Time's for the chop, all right.
Right, who starts?
I do. No bed.
Did I hear you say you saw Felicity last night, Simon?
Did I? Oh, yes, quite. Your turn, Felicity.
Oh, I've had my turn, haven't I, Simon? Now it seems it's Cynthia's turn.
That's my trick, Felicity, dear.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, Simon.
Yes, I've heard it said.
So I hope you've not been cheating, Simon.
No, Felicity, it's just, I hold all the cards.
Well done, Simon.
Oh. Read how Simon appeared in the neighbourhood from nowhere. You know so little about him.
Right, Simon, it's your opening on the minor bid. Let's see.
I hear there's a dangerous madman on the loose.
Simon?
Yes. Oh, yes, sorry.
I'm Eld.
Yes. Personally, I think he's been hiding out in the deserted cottage on the cliffs.
Flush!
No, Simon, your luck's in tonight.
Ha! We shall see. The night is not over yet, Simon Gascoigne.
Oh, you're the half-brother of Lord Albert Muldoon, who showed up out of the blue from Canada just the other day, are you? Must say, it took you long enough to get here. What did you do? Walk? Oh,
Care for a spin? Care for a spin round the rose garden, Cynthia?
No, Magnus, I must talk to Simon.
My round, I think, Major.
You think so?
Yes, Major, I do.
There's an old Canadian proverb handed down by the Blackfoot Indians which says, "He who laughs last laughs longest."
Yes, I've heard it said.
Well, I think I'll go and oil my gun.
I think Felicity suspects something.
Let her think what she likes.
But she's almost acting as if... Simon, was there something between you and Felicity?
No. What we had was a mere fleeting thing. It's over between her and me, now that I have found you.
If I find out you have been untrue to me, if I find out you have falsely seduced me from my dear husband, Albert, I will kill you, Simon Gascoigne.
Can't sit around the old Vic and in his opera cloak and passes me the cat.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
Yeah, it's not that I think I'm a better critic.
I feel my whole life changing.
I am, but it's not that.
Oh, the world will laugh at me, I know.
It's not that they are much in the way of shoes to step into.
Call me an infatuated old fool.
They're not.
Condemn me.
He's standing in my light. That is all.
Betrayer of my class.
An almost continuous eclipse, interrupted by the phenomenon of moonlight.
I don't care. I'm a goner.
And I dream.
The blue angel all over again.
The day his temperature climbs through the top of his head.
Ah, the sweet madness of love.
The spasm on the stairs.
Myrtle, farewell.
Dreaming of the stair that he'll never reach.
For I only live but once.
Sometimes I dream that I've killed him.
What?
What?
Yes. Yes, a beautiful performance. Collector's piece. I shall say so.
Yes, a very promising debut. I'll put in a good word.
It would be as hypocritical of me to withhold praise on the grounds of personal feelings as to withhold censure.
You're right. Courageous.
Oh, I know what people will say. There goes Birdboot buttering up the ladies.
Ignore them.
But I rise above that. The fact is, I genuinely believe her performance to be one of the summits in the range of contemporary theatre.
Prim buttocked. That's the word for her.
The radiance, the inner sadness.
But does she actually come across with it?
The part as written is a mere cipher, but she manages to make Cynthia a real person.
Cynthia?
And should she, as a result, care to meet me over a drink, simply by way of thanking me, as it were.
Well, fickle old bastard.
Are you suggesting? Well, now, shaping up quite nicely, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yes. A nice dichotomy of forces. One must, of course, reserve judgment until the confrontation, but I think it's pretty clear where we're heading.
I agree. It's Magnus and Marloff.
What's Magnus and Marloff?
Well, if we knew that, we wouldn't be here.
Let me at once say that it has élan, while at the same time avoiding éclat. Having said that, I think it must be said, I am bound to ask, that does this play know where it's going?
Well, it seems an open and shut case to me, Moon. Magnus is not what he pretends to be, and he's got his next victim marked down.
Does it, I repeat, declare its affiliations? There are moments, and I would not begrudge it this, where the play, if we can call it that, and I think on balance we can, aligns itself uncompromisingly on the side of life. Je suis, it seems to be saying, ergo sum. But is that enough? I think we're entitled to ask for, what in fact is this play concerned with? It is my belief that here we are concerned with what I have elsewhere referred to as the nature of identity. I think we're entitled to ask, and here one is irresistibly reminded of Voltaire's cry, voila! I think we're entitled to ask, where is God?
Who?
God.
God?
I think we're entitled to ask.
Same, half an hour later. No, there is no one here of that name. Goodbye. Black or white, my lady?
White, please.
Black or white, miss?
White, please.
Black or white, Major?
White, please.
Sugar, my lady?
Yes, please.
Sugar, miss?
Yes, please.
Sugar, Major?
Yes, please.
Biscuit, my lady?
No, thank you.
The second act, however, fails to fulfill the promise.
If you ask me, there's something funny going on.
Program for a special police message. The dangerous search for a dangerous madman who is on the loose in Essex has now narrowed down to the immediate vicinity of Muldoon Manor. Police are hampered by the deadly swamps and the fog, but believe that the madman spent last night in a deserted cottage on the cliffs. The public is advised to stick together and make sure none of their number is missing. That is the end of the police message.
Where's Simon?
Who?
Simon, have you seen him?
No.
Have you, Major?
No.
Oh.
Yes, there's something foreboding in the air. It's as if
Oh.
one of us.
Oh, Felicity, the house is locked tight. No one can get in and the police are practically on the doorstep.
I don't know. It's just a feeling.
It's only the fog.
Hound will never get through on a day like this.
Fog!
He means the inspector.
Is he bringing a dog?
Not that I know of.
Never get through the swamps. Yes, I'm afraid the madman can show his hand in safety now.
What's that?
It sounded like the cry of a gigantic hound.
Poor devil.
There it is again.
It's coming this way. It's right outside the house.
Inspector Hound!
A police dog?
Lady Muldoon,
Yes.
I came as soon as I could. Where shall I put my swamp boots and my foghorn?
Mrs. Drudge will take them out. Be prepared, as the force's motto has it. Inspector? How
It take more than a bit of weather to keep me from doing my duty.
Oh, Inspector Hound, Felicity Cunningham, Major Magnus Muldoon.
Good evening.
Well,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
No, do go on, go on.
Well, tell me about it in your own words. Begin at the beginning and don't leave anything out.
I beg your pardon.
Fear nothing. You are in safe hands now. I do hope you haven't touched anything.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
I'm Inspector Hound.
Yes.
But what's it all about?
I really have no idea.
How did it begin?
What?
The thing.
What thing?
The trouble.
There hasn't been any trouble.
Didn't you phone the police?
No.
I didn't.
What for?
Ah, I see. Well, this puts me in a very awkward position. I'll just be going then.
Terribly sorry.
Well, it's perfectly all right.
I do hope you find him.
Find who, madam? Out with it!
I thought you were looking for the lunatic.
And what do you know about that,
It was on the radio.
Well, yes, that is what I'm here about, but I didn't know how much you knew. No point in causing unnecessary panic, even with a murderer.
Murderer, did you say?
Ah, so that was... It's not on the radio. Dear.
Whom has he murdered, Inspector?
Well, perhaps no one yet. Let us hope we are in time.
You suspect this madman is in our midst, Inspector?
I do. If any of you have recently seen a young-looking, well-spoken, hatless young man, a white suit, black tie, possibly someone who've been claiming to have just moved into the neighborhood, someone who on the surface seems as sane as you or I, then now is the time to speak. Don't interrupt!
Inspector?
Very well.
No, Felicity.
Please, Lady Cynthia, we are all in this together. I must ask you to put yourselves completely in my arms.
Don't, Inspector. I love Albert.
I don't think you quite grasp my meaning.
Is one of us in any danger, Inspector?
But didn't it strike you as odd that on his escape, the madman made a beeline for Muldoon Manor? It is my assumption that he has a deep-seated grudge against someone in this very household. Lady Muldoon, where is your husband?
My husband? You don't mean?
I don't know, but I have reason to believe that one of you is the real McCoy.
The real what?
William Herbert McCoy, who, as a young man, meeting the madman in the streets of Canada all those many years ago, cried out, "Why don't you do a decent day's work, you shifty bag of horse manure?" Solicited for 6 pence for a cup of tea. The madman never forgot that moment, but henceforth he always carried it in his heart, and henceforth carried the promise of revenge. Is there something you have forgotten to tell me?
So the madman is struck!
Oh,
Yes,
it's
this is exactly,
horrible!
exactly what I feared. Now you see the sort of person you are protecting.
I can't believe it!
I have to tell him, Cynthia! Inspector, a stranger of that description has indeed appeared in our midst. Simon Gascoigne. Oh, he had charm, I'll give you that. But he took me in completely. And made a complete fool of myself, as did Cynthia.
Where is he now?
He must be in the house somewhere. He cannot have gotten away in these conditions.
Exactly. Oh, fear not, Lady Muldoon. I shall apprehend the man who killed your husband.
My husband? I don't understand.
Everything points to Gascoigne.
But who's that?
Your husband.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I tell you, it's not.
Are you sure?
But that's not my husband.
Well, who is it then?
I don't know.
Anybody?
I've never seen him before.
Quite unlike any body I've ever met.
This case is becoming an utter shambles.
But what are we going to do?
I'll phone the police.
You are the police.
Thank God I'm here. The lines have been cut.
You mean?
Yes, we're on our own, cut off from the world and in grave danger.
You mean?
Yes, I believe the killer will strike again.
You mean?
Yes, we're on our own, put together by fate and cut off by the elements and in grave danger. He must be found. Search the house.
Anyone about? Johnny?
This is where Simon gets the chop. There you are.
Simon Gascoigne, I presume. Rough justice, even for a killer. Unless we presumed that the body could not have been here before Simon arrived at the house. But there's your answer. And now the question becomes, who killed Simon Gascoigne and why?
Why not?
Exactly. Good riddance.
Yes. Getting away with murder must be quite easy, considering one's motive is sufficiently inscrutable.
Fickle young pup was deceiving her right, left, and centre.
Of course, there's still a puckerage behind me.
She needs someone steadier, more mature.
If I could, so could he.
Yes, I know this rather nice hotel, very discreet, run by a man of the world.
Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Breakfast served in one's room, no questions asked.
Does Puckeridge dream of me?
Hello, what's happened?
What? Oh, yes. What do you make of it so far?
It is at this point the play for me comes alive. The groundwork has been well and truly laid, and the author has taken the trouble to learn from the masters of the genre. He's created a real situation, and few will doubt in his ability to resolve it with a startling denouement. Certainly, that is what it so far lacks. But it has a beginning, a middle, and I have no doubt it will prove to have an end. For this, let us give thanks, and double thanks, for a good clean show without a trace of smut. But perhaps even all this would be of nothing, were it not for a performance which I consider to be one of the summits in the range of contemporary theatre, in what is possibly the finest Cynthia since the war.
Yes. If we examine this more closely, and I think a close examination is the least tribute that this play deserves, I think that we will find that within the austere framework of what, on one level, a country house weekend, and what a useful symbol that is, the author has given us, yes, I will go so far, he has given us the human condition.
More talent in her little finger.
An uncanny ear that may have belonged to a Van Gogh.
A public scandal the birthday honours to date have neglected.
Faced as we are with such ubiquitous obliquity, it is hard. It is hard indeed, and therefore I will not refrain from invoking the names of Kafka, Sartre, Shakespeare, St. Paul, Beckett, Pirandello, and Dorothy L. Sayers.
A rattling good evening out, I was held.
Yes, harder still if it is possible. Harder still if it is possible to eat. Neither do I find it easy. Dante and Dorothy L. Sayers. Harder still.
Others taking part, indeed.
Hello? It's for you.
Hello? Oh, for God's sake, Myrtle, I told you never to phone me at work. What? Last night? Good God, woman, this is hardly the time. I assure you, Myrtle, there's absolutely nothing going on between me and... I simply took her to dinner as a way of keeping au fait with the world of the paint and the motley. Yes, I promise. Yes, I do. Yes, I said, yes, I do. And you are mine too, Myrtle, darling. I can't. I'm not alone. No, she's not. All right. I like your little pink ears, and you're my own fluffy bunny boo. Now, for God's sake, goodbye, Myrtle.
Out! You.
Yes. Hello again.
What are you doing here?
Well,
Honestly, darling, you really are extraordinary.
Yes. Well, here I am.
Oh, you must have been desperate to see me. I mean, I'm flattered. But couldn't it have waited till I got back?
No, you've got it all wrong.
What is it?
And about last night, perhaps I gave you the wrong impression. Got carried away a bit, perhaps.
Oh, what are you trying to say?
I want to call it off.
I see.
I didn't promise anything, and the fact is, I have my reputation. People do talk.
You don't have to say any more.
And my wife, too. I don't know how she got to hear of it, but...
Of all the nerve. To march in here.
I'm sorry you had to find out like this, but the fact is, I didn't mean it this way.
You philandering coward!
I'm sorry, but I want you to know I meant the things I said. Oh, yes, shows brilliant promise. I shall say so.
I'll kill you for this, Simon Gascoigne.
Good God.
I've come to set up the card table, sir.
I can't stay for a game of cards.
Oh, Lady Muldoon will be disappointed.
You mean she wants to meet me?
Oh, yes, I just told her and it put her in quite a tizzy.
Really? Yes, well, A man of my influence is not to be sneezed at. I think I have a small name in the making of reputations. Quite a tizzy, you say?
Birdboot. Birdboot. What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
Stop making an ass of yourself. Come back.
Oh, I know what you're thinking. But the fact is, I genuinely believe her performance to be one of the summits in the contemporary theatre.
Darling.
Oh, good evening. May I say that I genuinely consider...
Don't say anything for a moment. Just hold me.
By God, she does have her mouth open. Dear lady, from the first moment I saw you, I felt my whole life changing.
We can't go on meeting like this.
I'm not ashamed to proclaim my love nightly for you, but fortunately that won't be necessary. I know this very good hotel, discreet, run by a man of the world.
But darling, this is madness.
Yes, I'm mad with love.
Please, remember where we are.
I don't care. Let them think what they like. I love you.
Don't. I love Albert.
He's dead. Do you understand me? Albert's dead.
No, I'll never give up hope. Let me go. We are not free.
You mean Myrtle? She means nothing to me. Nothing. She's all cocoa, blue nylon fur slippers, not a spark of creative genius in a whole slumping, knee-length knickered body.
You're a cad, Simon. You will use me and cast me aside, as you have cast aside so many others.
No, Cynthia, now that I've found you.
You're ruthless. So strong, so cruel.
Have you taken leave of your tiny mind?
Stop! Can't you see? You're making a fool of yourself.
She's right.
You keep out of this.
Yes, what is it, Mrs. Drudge?
Should I close the window, my lady? The fog.
Yes, you'd better.
Look, they've got your number.
I'll leave in my own time, thank you very much.
It's the finish of you. I suppose you know that.
I don't need your two-penny Grub Street prognostications. I found something bigger and finer.
If only it were Higgs.
And fetch the Major down.
I think I hear him coming down now.
Simon! Say something!
That reckless bastard.
Thank God.
What's he doing here?
He just turned up.
Really? How do you like it here?
I couldn't take it night after night.
Oh God. I can't get in. It's not working. Oh. So you're still here.
Of course he's still here. Trying to play cards. There's no need to introduce you two, is there? For I recall that you, Felicity, met me through Simon, our mutual friend.
Yes, Simon is an old friend.
Ah, yes. Well, I like to give new up-and-comers the benefit of my... of course, she lacks technique as yet.
Last night.
I'm not talking about last night.
Indeed. Well, you deal, Felicity.
Did you see that? He tried to kill me. I told you it was Magnus. Not that it is Magnus.
Who did it, you mean?
What?
You think it's not Magnus who did it?
Get a grip of yourself, Moon. The facts are staring you in the face. He's after Cynthia for one thing.
It's that damn Gascoigne, isn't it?
Over my dead body.
I'll kill him if he comes between us.
Oh, for God's sake, sit down!
Simon!
She needs me, Moon. I've got to make up the 4.
Right, who starts?
I do. I'll dummy for a no-bid rough and double my holdings on South's Queen.
Did I hear you say you saw Felicity last night, Simon?
Did I?
Pay 21s or trump my contract. Cynthia's turn.
My trick. I'll trump your contract with 5 dummy no trumps there, and I'll move West's ruck for the rebid with the banker's ruck over there. Simon?
Would you mind doing that again?
And I'll ruff your dummy with the 5 no bid trumps there, and I support your rebid for the solo ruff on the dummy trick there.
And I call your bluff.
Well done, Simon.
Strange how Simon appeared in the neighbourhood from nowhere. We know so little about him.
Right, Simon, it's your opening on the minor bid. Let's see. I think I'll overbid the spade convention with two no trump and king gambit offered there, and West's dummy split double to queen's bishop 4 there.
Fais vos jeux, renez vos clous, rouge et noir at 0.
Simon?
And I call your bluff.
I meld.
I have
I rough,
I bluff.
Twist.
bust.
check,
Bing, snap.
How's that?
double
Not
top,
out.
Bingo.
No, Simon, your luck's in tonight.
We shall see. The night is not over yet, Simon Gascoigne.
Red herring. Smell it a mile off. Oh, yes. She's as clean as a whistle. I've seen it 1,000 times. And I've seen you before, haven't I? There's something about you.
Well, care for a spin round the rose garden? Cynthia?
No, Magnus, I must talk to Simon.
There's nothing for you there, you know.
Do you think so?
Oh, yes, she knows which side her bread's buttered. I'm a man not without a certain influence amongst those who'd reap the limelight. She's not going to throw me in for a heavily disguised...
There's an old Canadian
Don't give
proverb.
me that. I'd tumbled you right from the start. Oh, yes, you chaps aren't as clever as you think you are. Sooner or later you make a mistake. Incidentally, where was it I saw you?
Well,
Definitely.
well, I think I'll go and oil my gun.
Double bluff. Seen it 1,000 times.
I think Felicity suspects something.
What?
Simon, was there something between you and Felicity?
No, that's all over now. I simply flattered her a little bit. Told her she'd go far, that sort of thing. Dear me, the fuss that's being made over a little flirtation.
If I find out you have falsely seduced me from my dear husband Albert, I will kill you, Simon Gascoigne.
Birdboot. For God's sake, pull yourself together.
I can't help it.
What do you think you're doing? You're turning this into a complete farce.
I know, but I can't live without her. I shall resign from my position, of course. I don't care. I'm a goner, I tell you.
Birdboot, think of your family, your friends, your high standing in the world of letters. I say, what are you doing? Birdboot?
It's Higgs.
What?
It's Higgs.
Silly.
I tell you, it's Higgs. I don't understand. He's dead.
Dead.
I don't understand.
You must have been lying there the whole time.
kill Higgs.
What's he doing here? I was standing in tonight.
Moon,
So it's me and Puckeridge now.
Moon, I've got it.
Oh, but I didn't.
My God. So that was it. Moon, now I see.
No, I swear I didn't.
Now, finally, I see it all.
Birdboot!
Oh my God! What happened, Inspector?
He's dead. It's a bit rough, isn't it? A bit extreme. I mean, I knew he was a fickle old... All right. Who did this? Why?
Say it lacks point, purpose, focus, drama, wit, or originality. Simply to say that this does not happen to be my cup of tea. One has only to compare this ragbag to the masters of the genre to see that what we have here is a mere trifle that is not my cup of tea at all.
I'm sorry to be blunt, but there's no getting away from it. It lacks pace. Complete ragbag.
Those of you who were lucky enough to be at the Comédie Française on Wednesday last need no reminding that mere hysteria is no substitute for éclat.
It lacks élan.
Some of the cast appear to have given up acting altogether, no doubt aghast at finding themselves involved in an evening that can and will make the angels weep.
Now, I am not a prude, but I failed to see the reason for this cataclysm of filth and sexual innuendo that has been foisted on an unsuspecting public in the guise of modernity.
Well, Inspector, is this your man?
Yes. Yes.
It's Simon!
Yes. Poor. Is this some kind of joke?
If it is, Inspector, it's in very poor taste.
All right. I'm going to find out who did this. I want everyone to go to positions they occupied when the shot was fired. No one will leave the house.
I think we all had the opportunity to fire the shot, Inspector.
I am not.
But which one of us would want to?
Well, perhaps you, Major Magnus.
Me? Why would I want to kill him?
Oh, because he was on to you. Yes. He tumbled you back from the start and you shot him just when he was about to reveal that you killed this chap.
But what would be the motive for killing him? Who is this chap? Inspector?
Yeah, I don't know. It's quite unlike anyone I've ever met. Well.
Inspector?
Yes. Yes, what is it, dear lady?
I went to this room earlier in the day to set up the card table. I chanced to overhear a remark from the deceased to her ladyship, viz. I will kill anyone who comes between us.
Oh, yes. Well, that's it then. This chap was obviously killed by, Simon.
But he didn't come between us.
And who then killed Simon?
Subsequent to that remark, I also happened to be in the earshot of a comment made by her ladyship to the deceased, viz. I will kill you, Simon Gascoigne. I hope you don't mind my mentioning it.
No, not at all. I'm glad you did. It's just from these chance remarks that we in the force are able to build up a complete picture before moving in to make the arrest. And it will not be long, I fancy you, that Lady Muldoon, anything you say.
Yes, I hated Simon Gascoigne, for he had me in his thrall. But I didn't kill him.
Prior to that, I also happened to overhear a remark by Miss Cunningham, No doubt in the heat of the moment, but these things stick in my mind. Viz, I will kill you for this, Simon Gascoigne.
The final piece of the jigsaw. I think I am now in a position to reveal this mystery. This man was, of course, McCoy, the Canadian who, as we heard, meeting Gascoigne in the street and being solicited for a sixpence and a toffee apple, smacked him across the ear with a cry, "How's that for a grudge to harbour, you snivelling little work-shy?" All those many years ago, Gascoigne bided his time, but in due course tracked McCoy down to his house, having, on the way, met in the neighbourhood a young girl from the provinces. He was charming, persuasive, told her I have no doubt that she would go straight to the top. And she, flattered by his sophistication, taken in by his promises to see her all right on the night, gave in to his simple desires. Perhaps she loved him, we shall never know. But in the very hour of her promised triumph, his eye fell on another. Yes, I refer to Lady Cynthia Muldoon. From the moment he caught sight of her, there was no other woman for him. He was in a spell, willing to sacrifice anything and anyone. Yes, even you, Felicity Cunningham. It was only today, unexpectedly finding him here, that you learned the truth. There was a bitter argument which ended with your promise to kill him, the promise that you carried out at your very first opportunity. And now, I must warn you that anything you say...
It doesn't make any sense.
Not at first glance, perhaps.
Couldn't Simon have been killed by the same person that killed McCoy?
But why would any of us want to kill a perfect stranger?
Perhaps he wasn't a perfect stranger to one of us.
But Simon was a madman, was he not?
We only have your word for that. Inspector, we only have your word for a lot of things. For instance, this McCoy, who is he? Is his name McCoy? Is there any truth in that fantastic and implausible tale of insult inflicted in the Canadian streets? Or is there something else, quite unknown to us, going on behind all of this? Suppose for a moment that the madman, having murdered this unknown stranger for private and inscrutable reasons of his own, was disturbed before he could dispose of the body. So, having cut the telephone wires, he decides to return to the scene of the crime, masquerading as none other than Police Inspector Hound.
But I am not mad.
Only there to discover that in the house there was a man, Simon Gascoigne, who recognised the corpse as a man against whom you held a deep-seated grudge.
But I didn't kill. I'm almost sure I didn't.
I put it to you. Are you the real Inspector Hound?
Oh, you know damn well that I'm not. What's it all about, anyway? I didn't kill anyone.
I thought as much.
I only dreamed. Sometimes I dreamed.
So it was you!
The madman.
The killer.
Oh, it's horrible, horrible!
The stranger in our midst.
Yes, we had a shrewd suspicion that she would turn up here, and she walked right into my trap.
What trap?
I am not the real Magnus Muldoon. It was a mere subterfuge. And now I reveal myself as...
You mean?
Yes, I am the real Inspector Hound.
Puckeridge? Puckeridge?
Stay where you are, or I shoot.
You killed Higgs, and the Birdboot tried to tell me.
Stop! In the name of the law! I have waited a long time for this.
So you are the real Inspector Hound?
Not only that, but I have been leading a double life at least.
You mean?
Yes, it's been 10 long years, but don't you recognize me?
You mean?
Yes, It's me, Albert, who lost his memory and joined the force, rising by merit to the rank of inspector, his past blotted out, until one day fate cast him back to the home he'd left behind, back to the beautiful woman he'd brought here as his girlish bride. In short, my darling, my memory has returned, and your long wait is over.
Oh, Albert!
Ah,
Puckeridge, you cunning bastard.